The company that I chose was Orbit Books, and here is the marketing plan. So, for the company profile, Orbit Books is a book publisher that specifically does sci fi and fantasy books. Their headquarters are in the UK in London. They were originally founded in 1974, but in 2007 they specifically were publishing sci fi and fantasy compared to other books that they had. Their annual revenue was $6.4 million, and their target customers are fans of imaginative storytelling, epic world building, and engaging characters. Some of their distribution channels are just bookstores in general, like Barnes and Noble as like a larger chain, and then there are also smaller bookshops as well that purchase from them. Some of their competitors are Bain Publishing, Severed Press, and Talos Press. Other publishers that focus in fantasy and sci-fi books. So with their SWOT analysis, their strengths are diverse fantasy offerings, a wide variety of fantasy books that are, like I said, fantasy, urban fantasy, YA, and then also catering to different tastes. They also have a strong brand recognition. It's very well known. There's a lot of bookstores that specifically have a lot more of Orbit compared to other publishers. Their weaknesses, I would say, would be limited geographic scope. Usually they would operate in English-speaking countries, limiting their global reach. Resource-intensive marketing, managing multiple social media platforms and campaigns require a lot of time and effort. So it takes a lot of their sort of focus towards there compared to other marketing methods. Some of their opportunities are global expansion. They have growth into new international markets beyond the US and UK, with digital books being more popularized. They have opportunities to expand with their ebooks and audiobooks and other interactive content that goes with them. Some of the threats that I have seen are intense market competition. This faces strong competition from other publishers and self-published authors. So, as new authors are not always being represented by different publishers, they have more competition with people deciding to be independent. And then they also have economic instability. Economic downturns or inflation could reduce book sales due to decreased consumer spending. Due to the current financial situation that we have right now, this could be a thing, but it hasn't seen too much of a difference just because of how big the book community is right now and how a lot of people are very invested into their reading. With their market segmentation, the product overview, they publish engaging stories with in the speculative fiction genre. A lot of their books appeal to readers who enjoy magic, advanced technology, or a lot of dramatic plots. Usually they'll do a lot of very complicated stories and not something that's simple. They do have those, but usually it is very more... It's very... I guess complicated would be the best word. Their target audience would be readers seeking entertainment that spans fantasy and science fiction. Some potential customers who like speculative fiction are potentially cemented in realism. This could also be for urban fantasy as well. Usually those could be a big selling point for people. In their segmentation, in their critical market segments, and geographic, they operate in two English-speaking countries, primarily the United States and the United Kingdom. Their psychographic segmentation, consumers interested in speculative fiction, video games, tabletop games like Dungeons and Dragons. A lot of things that are, fantastical. There's a lot of speculative, kind of like not of this world kind of ideas, like magic and sort of like high technology in a way. uh, and also individuals active on social media and following influencers with similar interests. Due to social media being very popular right now with books, there's more of a market there that you can do a lot more things with authors or even just like the content of said books. And in behavioral segmentation, there's a lot of frequent buyers or those who purchase in large orders. Customers influenced by reviews or social media recommendations. Usually, as a people, we're very influenced by people who we look up to or just in our community. So if someone likes something, we're usually more motivated to get those things. With their marketing strategy, they focus on a mix of behavioral and psychographic segmentation, the use of social media advertising to increase exposure and reach, recommendations in the back of books to suggest similar reads and encourage repeat purchases. Usually, what Orbit does is in the back of their books, they'll show a couple of like different covers from different books, and sometimes they'll also include a little sneak peek of one of the books that they highlight. But usually it is just the covers and maybe a little description of them. With their growth and profit potential, interacting with the consumer's lifestyle and interests will improve the company's presence. Leveraging social media trends to reach a broader audience, the tailored marketing approach based on behavior and psychographic aims to increase customer engagement and boost sales. So if they take a focus into the consumer's sort of interests, making sure that like their advertising is more in a way not generalized, but like they specify sort of like, oh, if you're sort of in a rut or whatever, you can make your life interesting or your reading interesting by reading this book, or something in a way that makes it where the reader feels like they're being spoken to directly. And also with social media, if they do said trends, they'll be able to sort of bring those authors to the forefront when usually social media is just a really quick post and that's it. With their situation and company analysis, their economic environment is, in the U.S. specifically, experiencing mixed growth with higher taxes and inflation in certain areas. Consumers may prefer more affordable book formats due to economic pressure, leading to a shift towards e-readers and paperback books instead of hardcovers. This usually depends on the type of reader. So if you're more of an avid reader, you'll usually go towards hardcovers just because you prefer that sort of look of it. Or if you're more interested in supporting the author and the publisher, you'll also sort of go for those. If you're more like wanting to check something out, you might check an ebook or paperback. Honestly, down to that point, it depends on the preference of physical or electronic. But customer confidence is strong. Affordability is a key factor for continued purchasing from Orbit Books. So again, it depends on the avid reader and seeing how connected they are to the company. So growth would be important in order to sort of get more people, but also have like a relationship with your readers and making sure that not everything is in a way generalized, and making sure it feels like you're speaking directly towards the reader. In their technical environment, the publishing industry is moving towards e-readers and audiobooks for environmental reasons. A lot of people are preferring to be eco-conscious with their reading. So e-readers and audiobooks are very important for that reason. But there are people that understand this and will, in a way, I would say, kind of lend their books, kind of like as a personal library, or even they'll sell their books onto other like platforms such as thrift books, so other people can get used books, or even on Amazon, eBay, that sort of thing. There's all these sites that people will sort of give their books to for a sort of eco-conscious way of using these without having to print more. Environmental and tactile book designs such as embossed or metallic covers attract consumer attention and provide more engaging reading experiences. Usually when you see a book in the bookstore, you're looking at why you want this, why it's interesting. People say don't judge a book by its cover, but really that is a big point in marketing, is sort of, why do you want this? Is it going to look good on my bookshelf? And then secondarily, is it a good sort of story and that sort of thing? And publishers are encouraged to diversify formats to meet consumer demands for digital and interactive reading options. So usually this means either having large print or having a way of like other ways of storytelling instead of just a copy and paste sort of thing of just putting text on a page. They'll either have interesting sort of like chapter images such as like illustration, or having a way to illustrate your point of like, oh, this is what a character looks like, or what the sort of emotions are in a story. In their competitive environment, Baen Publishing focuses on science fiction fantasy with an online store offering digital books and advanced electronic reading copies. Usually these advanced reading copies are sort of a way to get people hyped for a certain book. Usually this is given to influencers or other authors to give recommendations, and then also finalizing sort of a few technical mistakes that they've missed. Tor Publishing offers a wider range of genres, including fantasy, romance, thrillers, and mystery. It attracts a diverse readership, making sure that a lot of their readers aren't always reading the same thing and keeping things interesting. Genre-wise, Orbit Books, they have a strong presence in bookstores with a focus on science fiction, like I've said, and fantasy. Usually, their logo is recognizable on the spine, and they have a large roster of well-known authors. The political environment, book publishing is stable with straightforward requirements for operating, including a resale license and a doing business as name. Taxes are applied to goods with a resale license, and the DBA name allows a business to operate under a specific brand name. So, such as Orbit Books being the brand name, and then the resale license selling their product. The research question I would have had would be, how can Orbit Books effectively promote fantasy books to a new young audience, specifically through TikTok? Usually people, when they're saying, oh, where did you get that recommendation? Usually a lot of people will say Book Talk, and this is sort of going through that. The information needed is more demographic data, understanding like the age, interests, and preferences of potential users, content trends, identifying those formats and themes, and sort of how to use them. Platform analytics, also seeing how engagement goes, views, likes, what people are sort of like interacting with. Influencer partnerships, this is sort of identifying the most influential creators on TikTok within the genres that Orbit sort of operates in, and how to promote to those creators' followers. User behavior insights, studying how TikTok users interact with content and making those decisions. including conversion rates. Competitive analysts, this one being more evaluating strategies employed by competitors and sort of seeing what is the most effective. Then creative brainstorming, generating innovative ideas for TikTok campaigns and challenges, and making sure the content engages young audiences. And then we also have feedback mechanisms, making sure there's channels for collecting feedback from users and making sure to use those bits of feedback in order to optimize efforts later on. And then we go into integrated marketing communication. With this one, it's just a strategic approach to ensure consistent and cohesive messaging across all marketing channels, coordinates various promotional elements including advertising, public relations, direct marketing, that sort of thing, and aims to deliver a unified message to the target audience for maximum impact. This one being more generalized, I guess. This one I would probably not use as much just because this one being generalized, it doesn't give you a connection to the publisher, so it doesn't give you that much of a loyalty sort of thing. But if we were to use it, I would say align messaging and promotional efforts across different platforms, including TikTok, to reach young fantasy book readers, reinforcing the brand's identity and message, enhancing brand recognition and customer loyalty, ensures consistent communication across all touchpoints for a seamless customer experience. In a way, there are two different points. You can go where it's more personalized, or you can go more general, making sure everything is, if it's cohesive across everything. So instead of just having on Instagram, having like one book being promoted and their sort of spiel on there, and then not having it on anything else, it might be less effective. But if you have sort of the same promotion on that, and then different sort of platforms focusing on different points, that can also work as well. Benefits for IMC: they support sales by maintaining consistent messaging through the customer journey. It helps nurture leads, build brand awareness, and help conversions with the sales funnel. It also strengthens customer engagement and improves the effectiveness of marketing campaigns. And then marketing communications. The messaging for fantasy books, I would say, would be understand the target audience's preference and motivations. This will obviously help with understanding how to go about promoting books. Tailoring messaging to resonate with young audiences. After understanding preferences, then you go in and tailor and understand that with feedback, this will help ensure that the marketing campaign is successful. Highlighting the excitement, adventure, and escapism in fantasy books. Once you go into understanding the genre and being able to promote it in a way, you'll be able to properly represent the book and the genre in general. Using storytelling and visual elements to create engaging content will ensure that understanding of the genre and the books in general will also help be successful. When choosing communication methods, it would be considering the target audience's demographics and media consumption habits. TikTok's format is best for short form video and creative visuals, so very short, fast, but very bold in a way. Effective strategies for TikTok include influencer partnerships, as I said, hashtag challenges, and book trailers. So a lot of things that are more quick. With influencers, they already understand the sort of format that you need to go, and they'll be able to promote in a way that would be successful already. Hashtag challenges, it'll also help readers sort of involve themselves and not have it where it's just influencers. It'll be able to engage with the community as a whole. And then book trailers, a lot of people are excited about things, so an upcoming author's like new book or their debut novel, if you make a trailer, a lot of people will be already excited, and that marketing will convince people to pre-order or just be excited once it releases and go to stores right away. Some of the common marketing communication methods are advertising, public relations, direct marketing, social media marketing, and sales promotion. With advertising, allows mass reach, but also can be expensive. Public relations builds credibility, but needs ongoing relationship management. Direct marketing provides personalized communication, but not as seen as intrusive. Social media marketing offers high engagement, but requires active community management. And then sales promotion can boast short-term sales, but risks eroding brand equity if overused. How a lot of bookstores go, they have a lot of sales promotion, such as Barnes & Noble, they have buy one, get one 50% off. This may affect it, but if you properly manage it, you'll be able to build a relationship with your customers, but also make sure that people start buying some of these books, and can also help with inventory if that is an issue. And then with social media marketing, as we said, it could be one of their weaknesses, as it kind of uses their resources to sort of focus on their community. Some of their customer relationship management, I would say the role of CRM systems enable personalized communication, managing customer data, and tracking interactions. It helps analyze customer behavior to create tailored marketing messages, and then are essential for managing and nurturing customer relationships through targeted communication. So when we're looking at how readers are interacting and sort of engaging with the content, using this would be the way that we can understand how our readers do things, and then being able to tailor it towards them. The benefits of CRM would be allowing Orbit Books to understand customer preferences and behavior patterns. It helps targeted marketing campaigns sort of be successful and resonate with specific customers, and then also maintain ongoing relationships with readers, leading to improved loyalty and retention. So for key performance indicators, the key performance indicators measure marketing communication effectiveness, and common tools and approaches include tracking key performance indicators such as website traffic, social media engagement, conversion rates, and then customer satisfaction. With the marketing campaign, we would start with TikTok influencer partnerships, collaborating with popular influencers in those sort of genres, like book reviews, reading challenges, or cosplay, dressing up as those characters. In a way, these will help boost a lot of these books in their popularity, and also create a better environment for these authors and books to thrive. We would also have hashtag challenges, launching a branded hashtag challenge to encourage users to create and share related videos, and then with prizes for best entries. I feel like this would help have an incentive for people and have a lot more engagement. Then we would also have book trailers, creating visually engaging book trailers designed for the short form video that TikTok uses, and generate buzz about new releases, like I said. We would also have user-generated content, so we would promote fan art, recommendations, and reading experiences shared by TikTok users on their official account, on specifically Orbit Books' official account. Then we would also have interactive quizzes, polls. Developing these quizzes would gamify the reading experience and increase interaction with the audience. We would also have cross-promotion, which uses other social media platforms to cross-promote TikTok content and direct traffic towards Orbit Books' website or online store as well, making sure that it's not just stagnant where everything's being promoted, and gives readers a place to navigate to. And then analytics and optimization, we would track campaign performance with TikTok's analytics tools and adjust strategies based on what the audience gives feedback for, and then the metrics to improve results. With the budget, a lot of components that we would have to think about would be influencer fees, content production cost, advertising spending, promotional prizes. In a way, it's hard to generate a budget without having to fully understand a lot of these components. Influencers, a lot would be focusing on their rates. Not all of them would be doing the same thing. Some of them might choose where they have more freedom in their promotion, so they might not choose to get paid. There's some that might have different fees that they have. With content production, there would be a lot more of designers that would have to be put in place in order to understand what would be engaging, and then advertising spending. There's a lot of things that would have to be thought about, and in order to properly create this budget. With the effective allocation, if we distribute resources across various tactics, and then maintain consistency in messaging and branding to ensure campaign effectiveness, making sure everything is kind of the same or is properly done. The goals of this is to maximize the campaign's impact and return in investment by allocating budget strategically, making sure that everything is properly understood and not just put out willy-nilly, making sure everything is allocated correctly and is sort of documented. And then with the marketing mix, or the 4 Ps, with the product, is offering a diverse range of fantasy novels, including epic fantasy, urban fantasy, YA, using social media platforms like TikTok to showcase new releases, popular series, and engaging audiences through book trailers, author interviews, and fan interactions. The price maintains competitive prices for ebooks, paperbacks, and special editions, such as other publishers. We would also utilize social media for promotions, discounts, limited time offers to boost sales, that sort of thing. All social media right now has some type of shop or sort of a marketplace, so using that would also be good. We would employ targeted social media advertising with specific pricing promotions, like 50% off, 20 for 25, or some sort of interactive thing of buy one get one sort of thing. And then also seasonal discounts and bundle deals, if it's a series, getting book 1 through the finished one, or so on like that. The place would focus on platforms like TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and Goodreads to reach audiences. A lot of these book related apps like Goodreads, or even just general apps, can work as well. To aim to create a strong online presence and engage with fans across multiple channels. Partners with influencers, participates in online book clubs, and hosts virtual events we can foster a community and increase accessibility for everyone. And then promotion, it leverages social media to create engaging content that promotes Orbit Books and its brand. Regularly post book-related content, including book trailers, author Q&A sessions, and then behind-the-scenes insights with constant engagement. This will help, in a way, make it more like someone's behind the screen and not just a company. It's sort of like everyone has ideas. It's we want your opinion. Thank you for the sales sort of thing. It's making sure that it's not so sterile and where it's more interactive. And then using collaborations with influencers, giveaways, those challenges, and sponsored content to increase brand awareness and boost sales. The action plan would be our social media campaigns, being launching regular campaigns and platforms like TikTok, Instagram, focusing on engaging content related to new book releases, author Q&A sessions, and then book trailers. Partner with influencers in those genre communities and reaching a broader audience to create authentic promotional content. Those hashtag challenges, creating branded hashtag challenges to encourage users to generate content related to those novels, and then offering prizes for the most creative entries and boosting participation. Then diversifying book options or offerings, expanding the range of fantasy books to include different subgenres such as epic fantasy, urban fantasy, and catering to a wider audience. We would also introduce interactive digital content such as ebooks with embedded multimedia elements or audiobooks to attract tech-savvy readers. Then we would have author collaboration. We would collaborate with popular authors to create exclusive content like signed special editions or limited run merchandise. We would also encourage authors to engage with readers through visual book signings or online book clubs in a way to make it personable, again. And then community building, establishing and maintaining a strong online presence, interacting with fans through social media and other forms that fans create. And then organizing virtual events like book discussions or themed fantasy nights to foster a sense of community among readers. We would also have feedback collection, implementing feedback mechanisms so it's easier to collect feedback from readers, and gathering opinions on new releases or campaigns, and then using that feedback to refine future strategies and improve offerings. Then we would also have CRM implementation, utilizing customer relationship management, managing customer data, tracking interactions, and personalize that communication, and then leveraging analytics to identify trends and refine those strategies based on behavior. Then streamlining these processes, we would review internal processes to ensure efficiency in marketing campaigns, product development, and customer service. Also implementing automation tools where possible to reduce manual workload and increasing productivity. And then cross-promotion with other platforms, promoting content across different platforms such as Goodreads to drive traffic into increased brand visibility. And then strategic partnerships, forming partnerships with other companies or franchises in that fantasy genre to expand Orbit's reach and attract new customers. Also collaborating with other publishers for co-branded promotions and events as well. The risk factors would be market risks. Intense competition would be with other publishers in the fantasy book market, as well as self-published authors. It could reduce Orbit's market share. Changing consumer preferences, it usually with the shifting towards digital content or different genres, it might impact demand for Orbit's offerings. Operational risks, resource allocation, managing those multiple social media channels and promotional campaigns could be resource intensive. And then also the dependence on key authors. If these significant authors leave or don't produce new works, it could affect sales and recognition. Within financial risks, there's economic downturns. A recession or economic instability could decrease consumers' disposable income, reducing book sales, or inflation. Raising costs for printing, production, or distribution could squeeze profit margins. Within regulatory risks, data privacy laws, there's new regulations on data protection. It might affect how Orbit collects and uses customer information. Copyright and intellectual property could change copyright laws and influence how Orbit publishes and distributes their own books. Within technological risks, technology adoption, not adaptation, sorry. Technology adoption can slow adoption of new technology trends like ebooks and audiobooks. It might limit Orbit's market reach. And then cybersecurity threats, data breaches, or other sort of like cyber threats could compromise customer information and damage Orbit's reputation. Within reputational risks, public relations issues, sort of negative publicity or controversies involving authors or the company can harm Orbit's brand image. It has happened before with other sort of publishers, so focusing on this could help kind of prevent these. And then customer dissatisfaction, poor customer service, or product quality issues could lead to decreased loyalty and sales. I thank you for listening to my sort of presentation on Orbit books, and I hope this gives you an understanding of how a marketing plan with book publishing could be interactive and, well, successful in the social media world. So, thank you.